How many times have you watched my videos and I've told y'all that Ojar's Wood Whisper is the best one for me in the lineup, but the problem that I had was the distribution of this little pinpointy oily denseness. I needed a sprayer. So I went over to Max Aroma and finally picked up Wood Whispers in the actual spray formation, but also managed to scoop up Solar Flair. Now I took the cellophane wrapper off because I was gonna do a true wear today, but I figured let me do the first impressions, then I'll spray it on, rock it for the day and see what kind of performance it has. But I did go to the release party of this fragrance a few months back. I just don't remember what the scent smells like. So let's roll my music to see if Ojar has another hit on their hands with Solar Flair. My beautiful peoples, you know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. The House of Ojar has really been doing some crazy fragrances. True story, a super solid line once it came out. They have real decent bangers there, but like in any other collection, there's always one standout piece, and for me, it's Wood Whispers. But as you can tell, that oil just leaves a nice mark everywhere, and it is really potent and amazing performance, but I just don't like the oiliness or just be putting it on like that. It's not my favorite. I'm an old school kind of guy. The spray distribution does me beautifully, which is why I picked that one up. Now I remember Solar Flair as far as the event is concerned, but I just don't remember the scent profile. So let's crack this joint open, give you the full presentation, and then we'll get into some note breakdown. Here's what Ojar Solar Flair looks like. And let's give you the note breakdown according to our peoples over at Fragrantica. Alright, so the fragrance opens up with pink pepper and mandarin, followed by a heliotrope, patchouli, honeysuckle, and osmanthus. And at the base, we got honey, vanilla, and white musk. Seems like a very simplistic fragrance. In that release party, which is really dope, overlooking the East River, it was a complete vibe. I was getting real sauced up. And that's the thing about these parties. Like, it's for content creators, for mingling, meeting the creative directors in these brands, but there's always open bar, and you know where Cuba goes, because once I get a couple of sippies in me, that's when I'm like, hey, hey, I don't remember nothing, not a damn thing. So when I'm there, I really make content. I make a little bit of couple snapshots, couple Instagrammies, have a couple of drinks, meet some people, get some phone numbers, and that's how your uncle networks.
It's nice.
Then a couple months later, I get the fragrance, I smell the joint, and I tell y'all what I think of the shit. So let's go ahead and do that. Got a little test strippy on decky. Let's see what's up with Solar Flair. Let's see if it's another vanillic bomb like everything else that's been coming out in the last 6 months, or is it something nice, sexy, and different? Let's go. I kind of get the Solar Flair aspect. Very bright and inviting. The orange / bergamot really pops up in a nice amount of honey. Does on the test strip seem to lean a little bit on the feminine side. It's the combination of the white florals, vanilla, and heliotrope, giving it a little bit of a feminine touch on the test strip. But there's a lot more sweetness that I remember from this scent. The honey, the heliotrope, the vanilla, there's a little bit of an underlying suede aspect. The musk here is perfectly clean, fresh, cottony. It is more on a touch on the sweet side, leaning towards the white florals. But there is a brightness on this joint, and I think Solar Flair was a great name for the fragrance, because once you smell the fragrance, it kind of makes sense. Like Solar Flair, there's a sharp brightness and liveliness about this fragrance that screams warm weather vibes all day. But there's also a thick denseness about that honey and vanillic note, and also that clean muskiness, and that kind of suede-ish material density adds a little bit more body to the fragrance. So it's kind of like Solar Flair's cutting through clouds, giving you that kind of, you know, sharp lighting distribution. 𝗙𝐶𝐿 Cuba's artistic now. Let me go on skin with this shit. Let's see what we're gonna do over here. Stow it over here. See what kind of skin scent we're on. By the way, the cocktail other day, I'm keeping it a little light. I'm on some Tito's and pineapple juice today, so I'm feeling really nice. I'm feeling tropical right now, even though it's 19 degrees. Ooh, much better on skin. Still sweet, a sugary take on honey. Honey is already sweet, but it's honey with like light crystallized sugar on top. It also has a little bit of a candied watermelon / raspberry. More like, actually scratch that. More like a little bit of like a synthetic fruit punches vibe, like a couple of drops on top of that honey of like a Hawaiian punch fruit punch. There's a sweetness here that's very playful, even a little bit juvenile, to be honest with you, but leaning a little bit more on the feminine side. But on skin, I'll pull this shit off because I like a gourmandy type fragrance, and this is more on the candied sweetness than anything else, and it has a vibe that really cooperates with my skin. But with that same token, I don't think it'll be the mass appeal for the machismo individual who doesn't have any metrosexuality, walks around with like a Who Farted t-shirt and a Marlboro trucker hat. It's soft, it's clean. That muskiness is really taking over and battling with that sweetness. So you got clean, sweet, slightly dry. Again, a little bit of a suede materialistic element. Although it's not listed in the notes, that's what I'm picking up, and that's all that fucking matters. I get no pink or red or green or black pepper in this fragrance. I barely get any spice. I get airy, sun orange, Hawaiian punch droplets on top of organic raw honey with very clean musk. Elegant, unisex, but leans a little bit feminine. Like on a feminine pair of chesticles.
Yes, yes.
Overall, I think Solar Flair is hovering at a 6.3, a little bit better than average. I don't know how often I'll be reaching for this fragrance. I am gonna rock it all day to see if there's any changes, and if that score does change, I'll do an updated video and give you guys my thoughts on that full dry down portion and full wear. Right now, I'm almost at full dry down on the wrist, and again, it's a very handsome scent, very airy, does lean more warm weather and a little bit more feminine. So in thinking from my perspective, which is all that matters, it's wearable for me. I don't know how sexy and confident I'm gonna feel. If at the end of the day, it really does a little something extra or I get a compliment off of it, you're gonna have an update. Again, like I'm hovering between like a 6.3 and a 6.7 on this score for this fragrance. There's also a little bit of a lotiony aspect coming off this scent too, like a body lotion, almost suntanish. In the summer, this might be a fucking banger. Right now in 19 degrees, it's kind of just good, not amazing. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the gang. 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝐻𝑚𝑚𝑚 is still kicking ass though. Smooches.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start tack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you